Welcome back. It is 16:05. I want to thank everyone for being super patient with me during the holiday season where we had less videos and stuff going on. I'm going to try to adjust to the new schedule as best I can. We'll see how it goes. And I also appreciate you telling me through the poll how you prefer the videos. So thank you very much. I hope everyone had a really great holiday and everything. This is my first video back. So let's see how it goes. As you know, right now we're dealing with Sophronia and Isabella. Marie has moved out with Athelina and Elias and her other children. But yeah, right now Isabella is our main character, but Sophronia is our only adult, so she is the most going on. So this year we have a few birthdays. We have Martin Dubois becoming a toddler, child, no 7, 14, or 19. Survived. Bragwine de Mohun, that is one of, I believe it's either one of Marie's children or I think it is. No, 2, 4, 6. No, it might be one of not Isabella, Yasmina's children, sorry. Paul Waldrick, no 7 or 13. Will he get married? No 1 through 5. How many kids? 3. That's not a bad number, Paul. We got to start thinking about who's going to come with us in 15 years to the Americas. So you will probably come unless you die. Gilbert Whitehead and Clarice Dubois have to both get at least a 7. That was close, my guy. And then Joanna Waldrick has to get at least an 8. Ooh, she did not. Okay, Joanna, you did not survive. Okay, only 1 death, and she was older, so that's not too bad. In our townie tracker, no birthdays. So let's hop right into it and get back to doing this thing. All right, so here we are in our household with our 2 girls. Soon we will have more members in our household, of course, with the relationship between Sophronia and Hughie kind of, moving along, although he is an elder now, but, she's also getting up there. Like, our Sims are not particularly young. They spent a lot of time having a lot of babies that did not survive before they were successful in having their 1 child. So what we're going to do first is we're going to have Sophronia attend a ball. So there's going to be a ball happening right now, and everyone's going to be there, including Hughie, who you can see here now has the gray hair. And she is just going to spend some time with him, but she goes over and she sees like who is talking to him but Marie. So Sophronia kind of, scoots in there as like, I don't think so. Also, we can't see Sophronia right now. Of course we can't. But yeah, so the 2 of them start to argue, get in a little fight, and for some reason then start flirting with each other. I don't really know, but Hughie is not into it. And I think we're going to ignore the part where they flirted because that's weird. But I think basically he's going to be kind of like, whoa, like that escalated really quickly. Like he didn't really expect that kind of behavior from her. He was really surprised by that. But they're able to kind of make up because he's also a hot-headed Sim, so he gets it. Like he understands that like they are sworn enemies and they're going to get into it every time they see each other. And Marie says some things, some insults that really hit hard. So that is tough for Sophronia, but her and Hughie are working their way back up here. But now what we have here is Marie kind of pulling aside Jose, who she knows has a bad standing with a lot of people at this point. Jose is just kind of known for being kind of scummy and being like, a jerk who is rude to women all the time, and just like nobody wants to go anywhere near that. So she knows that she can kind of manipulate him a bit. He's had a really hard time finding a wife, and so she basically says to him, hey, like I'll let you marry my niece if you cause a scene here and kind of embarrass Sophronia, maybe make it so that nobody wants to be with her. Meanwhile, she's already upstairs, woohooing in the closet with Hughie. But basically, the deal is that, so Theta, who is Yasmina's daughter, and both of her parents are deceased, so Marie is kind of her guardian, but she, is someone that Marie doesn't care for and doesn't want and can just be used as a pawn for her. So she is offering her niece up in order to have Jose kind of cause some problems for Sophronia, maybe make it so that she can't get married, make it so that she has a scandal, all that stuff. So he starts to cause problems with her and starts to say things like really out of pocket, really like about like woohooing and like really like nasty stuff that is not proper for a lady, and kind of, insinuating that maybe she is not a proper lady and everything. And so Huey immediately comes over and is like, absolutely not. That is not what's going to happen here. And basically, fights back against him. And like I said, Huey is hot-headed, so I do not mind him kind of getting into it with people. He obviously cares for Sophronia. Maybe they're not like in love, but he definitely sees her as someone in need of his protection and someone he could be a companion with and he can take care of. He really respects that she's a single mom because he was a single dad to a daughter. And it's really one of those things where he just immediately is like, absolutely not. You're not going to talk that way to, the woman I love and all of that stuff. So he comes over and he basically says in front of everybody, he confesses his love to in front of everyone. So like the declaration of love that he does in front of everyone, and basically tells them, you know, this is it. Like, she's my girl and we're going to be together. And for some reason, as it turns out, it looks like Huey and Jose used to have a thing, which I didn't even know about. So apparently they used to have a thing. So they have some romance bar there. And so I think that is, adding another layer of complexity here to having it be that Jose and Huey used to kind of, see each other on the sly, maybe just for fun. But now he, is having to go up against Jose to kind of defend Sophronia. And that is an awkward situation because obviously Jose will know things about him, but at this point he's old, he doesn't care. He's just out here to kind of not recreate the life he had earlier, because it was him and his wife, and they had their one daughter, and then she died and he raised his daughter. But like, I think that he really connects with Sophronia on that level and Isabella on that level where he like sees his family in them as well. And so actually Isabella had a personality change from goofball to snob, and I think that is really telling. It says she like doesn't handle her grief well, and I think that it's really interesting that maybe, now that she's friends, like her half siblings are an earl and a duke, and that she, is making friends and stuff, and at this point in her life she's kind of getting a little too big for her britches. So anyway, that's why she became a snob. Also, we're having Huey propose in front of everyone again to solidify that kind of protection for her and to show off that to everyone. And then, yeah, so also then we just saw Sophronia, who had a personality change to materialistic. And I think that she went from generous to materialistic, and I think that the reason for that is that she was generous. She's always been so generous. And then all these bad things happen to her, and I can see that changing her. I can see that making her a little more guarded, a little more protective of what's hers, especially considering she doesn't have a lot of money, and she's not really making a lot of money as a widow, and she has a daughter to take care of, and it's just like a lot. And so I think I could see her changing in that way, but I don't think that that's going to make her not a generous person per se. I think it's definitely going to make her a little more guarded. So that is what's going on there. And then what we have here is we're changing households so that we can see Theta and the consequences of Marie's actions on her. So Theta is, again, Yasmina and William's daughter. Angelo's daughter. Yeah, so she's not even... I have no idea how she's technically related to Marie. I think she's Angelo's daughter, actually. But anyway, Jose kind of shows up at the house and is like, hey, like, you should marry me anyway. Like, your mom's been ghosting me because I didn't give her what she wanted, and Huey kind of ruined everything, but I still think we should get married. And like, he's kind of like harassing her, basically. He's like, your mom said we could get married. Like, we should get married. I don't care. Like, he's really bothering her, being a jerk, being uncomfortable. Like, she's a teenager too. She's like a young girl. Like, get away from her. but Marie doesn't care about her. Marie does not care about her or her future or her, she only cares about Theta as far as she can use her to potentially make connections or get things that she wants. And so there is definitely an issue here where he comes here to bother her, and she is, really not interested. Marie kind of like sees him and is like, get out of my house. Like, what are you doing? And so Marie like comes over to talk to Theta and is like, what was that? Like, why did I just see Jose here? And Theta tries to talk to Marie and tries to explain to her what's going on. Like, I don't know. Like, he came here harassing me, saying that, we need to get married and I don't want to marry him. He's gross and everybody hates him. But like, so she's talking to Marie about what happened and she's feeling really uncomfortable with the situation. She's like, I don't know why he just came here. And Marie's like, obviously Marie knows why he did that, but Marie's like, no, you're not going to marry him. He's not useful to us. And so Theta kind of feels relieved that, Marie is not necessarily protecting her, but is protecting her use of her, if that makes sense. Like, Marie's like, no, Jose is not it, so it's not going to happen. And so I think that Theta does feel a little bit like, oh, maybe Marie is a good person. Like, she doesn't really know Marie, obviously, but they've only been in the same household for a little while, and Theta really, she's had such a hard time. Her dad, her mom, her stepdad, now her like sort of stepmother aunt figure thing is now here taking care of her family, and she's just trying to kind of find an adult who will look out for her. And so she's hoping that Marie saying that she's not going to marry Jose is Marie like saying that it's going to be okay, she's going to take care of it. Obviously she's not, because then immediately the next time that Theta goes out, she runs into Jose again. So Jose is like stalking her, like it's awful, and so he's bothering her, and she's just kind of like, wants to be left alone by him. And Clarice is here too, actually, which is Clarice is Huri's daughter. So she's here, and she is kind of not chaperoning, but kind of talking to Theta a little bit. She actually just went into labor, so she had to leave. But I do think that maybe Clarice has a soft spot for people who need help, and that's why she kind of pushed her dad and Sophronia together, and then also why she would have been kind to Theta and kind of sat with her to keep Jose away, but she had to go. Obviously, she's having a baby. And so Theta just kind of tries to, go up to the bathroom, like get away for a little bit, kind of get alone. And Jose walks into the bathroom with her, and then somebody else kind of walks in and sees them alone in there together. And Clarice just had her baby. The baby survived. Clarice survived. We're going to name the baby Christina. She's all right. Everything's good there. But what happened is that someone just walked in on them, and Jose kind of like, makes it look like maybe him and Theta were doing something in there. Like he kind of, straightens his clothes out a little bit, or like, steps back from her, like, acting like he's like, oh no, someone saw, like, and so he's trying to create a scandal in which she would have to marry him. And she's furious. She's like yelling at him. She's like, what are you doing? Like, stay away from me. Like, nothing is happening. And he's like, yeah, well, we'll see what other people think if anything happened or not. And so it's just kind of a bad situation for her, where he's trying to force her into this situation, because obviously nobody wants to marry Jose. Nobody wants to be with Jose, because he is such a jerk, and he's such like a horrible person. He actually got a trait change to evil, and I was like, yeah, he is, because he's a jerk. Like, what, this guy, he's terrible. So anyway, Theta runs home, and of course Marie has already heard through the grapevine that Theta was caught doing something she wasn't supposed to, and Theta's trying to explain herself. She's like, no, you don't understand what happened. And Marie's like, it doesn't matter what happened. What happened is that you have a scandal, and you've ruined yourself, and now you're useless to me. So Marie is kind of turning on her, where Theta earlier was thinking, oh, maybe Marie is like, could be nice and could help me out. But really, once she becomes useless to Marie, Marie doesn't care. Marie's like, you know what? You're not helpful to me. I don't care about, what you've done. You've hurt the reputation of this family. And she kind of is yelling at her in front of the other kids too, being like, your sister did a bad thing and now she's in trouble, and blah. Like, she's trying to like make Theta out to be the bad person in the situation, whereas it's not really Theta's fault. What happened? It is not her fault. And so Marie doesn't care, though, because Marie only cares if Theta is useful to her. So she basically tells Theta, like, you know what, you're done. Like, if you're not going to be useful to me, I am going to kick you out of this house. You're not part of this family anymore. I don't have to take care of someone who isn't going to be useful to me, and all of that. So she basically kicks Theta out of the house. and Theta doesn't know what she's going to do, where she's going to go, and so she's stressed. She's stressed out about this. So she is kind of freaking out a little bit. And we're going to go back to our house now. So we're going to go back here and go back to our house and just spend a little bit of time first because it is late at night. We do have Isabella working more on her piano skills. She hasn't really done much lately, but she will. But yeah, she just, her mom is really encouraging her love of music and everything because, she, proper lady would know an instrument, and she does want to make sure that her daughter is able to find a good husband to take care of her and to make sure that everything's okay, because that is going to be a big deal, because Isabella does not really have a ton of backing, although Hughie will be helpful. It's not the same as, being the daughter of an earl, because obviously everybody knows that Sophronia and Isabella have been abandoned. So there's that. But come, later on in the morning, we actually have Theta coming over here. Now, obviously, Theta, knows Sophronia. She's her aunt. And she hasn't really been close to her over the years or anything, but she's talked to her siblings, and they've always talked very highly of Sophronia. Even though Marie has poisoned the children, they still recognize that Sophronia was always kind to them. And so she comes over here because she's looking for an adult to help her, and so she comes, and she comes to talk to Sophronia about her situation. She basically, starts telling her the whole thing and is like, look, here's what happened. I ended up in a bad situation. It wasn't my fault. I didn't mean for this to happen. And then, he kind of cornered me and made it out to be something that it's not. And it's really embarrassing. And then Marie kicked me out and it's awful and blah, blah, blah. And so she's just really stressed. She's really stressed. And she's like, look, my siblings have always talked really highly of you. And I am, concerned about what to do. I don't know where to go. And I was wondering if you could help me. And Sophronia, of course, is such a nice person. Even though, she doesn't have her generous trait anymore, I still think that there's part of her that is generous. And not only that, but Theta is her niece and she hates Marie. So taking in Theta and making sure she's successful and making sure she, is able to find a good husband and live a good life, that is something that would really make Marie angry, right? So she is willing to take Theta in. She's like, why don't you stay here for right now? I need to talk. Obviously she needs to consult with Hughie before she brings another person into the household that he, is looking to join. So, we're going to have her chat with Hughie and be like, look, Theta came to me, this happened. And again, I've kind of established that Hughie has a little bit of a hero complex where he really does want to take care of people and to help them. And then he gets a little hot-headed over situations regarding them. And so when she kind of comes and tells him all of this stuff about Theta and about what's going on with her, he's of course willing to help. I mean, she's an older girl. It's not going to be hard to keep her for a little while because she's probably going to get married soon. So he really is sad to hear what happened to her and what is going on, and he just really thinks that this injustice is just not okay. And he, Sophronia tells him a lot about what Marie has put them through and everything, and it's just she's like, there's nothing we can do about it, but we can help the best we can the people that are hurt in the wake of this. So then the second baby is born, and actually it is Peter Hobart II was born, and unfortunately his mother did not survive childbirth. So all those sweet baby rolls are all gone for now for him. So that is really tough for poor Peter. He just lost his wife after having one child together. And so we talk to Theta and we basically, give her a big hug and say it's okay, it's going to be okay. You can stay with us as long as you need and all of that. So that is what's going on there. And so we are going to have the two of them just chat a little bit, kind of get her settled in, spend some time with her, and really do our best to make sure that she's feeling okay. Hughie is also on their side here, trying to to make sure that she's okay. And Theta is just like so relieved that she has somewhere to go, somewhere to stay now that Maria's kicked her out, because she really didn't know what she was going to do. Like, what is a young lady going to do, you know? So it's just been really difficult for her, and she is doing her best to, keep it together. You can see her crying a little bit. She's really having a hard time. And, she's seeing her little cousin and everything. And we do want to make sure that also Isabella is okay with all these changes. And Isabella is totally fine with it. I mean, that's her cousin. And, she feels very highly of her half siblings and everything. And so she's not really against more family situations, and it might be nice to have like a big sister figure around. But Theta immediately finds, like, Jose has found out where she went. Probably Marie told him, because she's such a jerk. Marie probably is like, well, you can marry her now because I don't want her. So he goes and tries to find her, but Hughie immediately steps in. He's like, no, 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 you get out of here. This is not happening. Get lost. Like, really, like, get out of my house before I beat you even more. So he sends him away. I think he's kind of gotten the message a little bit here. And then we just had another baby. So this baby is not going to become an infant today, but it is the Waldrick baby. So Joan and Bertram just had a baby, Demita. I forget her name, honestly, already. But yeah, so all the girls are just bonding and spending some time together. And, obviously there's a lot of like wedding planning going on, because we have Sophronia getting married soon and everything. So they're feeling good there, and they're spending some time together, getting to know each other and all of that. And then today is actually the last day of the year already, but it is love day. It is love day. So I am going to have Sophronia go out on a little date with Hughie. So that will be really nice, is for the two of them to spend some more time together. We can't continue on in her aspiration until they get married. It'll probably be next year they'll get married. But yeah, so they're going to go out on a date, and unfortunately some of the interactions weren't working. Like, it says, socialize about meal, and I did that, and then it did not count towards anything, which is really weird. Or like, order a meal, and we're ordering it right now, and it did not count towards anything. So I don't really know what was going on there. This was just a regular date, not a created date, so I don't know how glitched things are anymore. You know, this is my first time playing in the new year, so I'm excited about it. I think that these two are going to be good together. They are definitely going to complement each other, if nothing else. So, actually, when is Hughie's birthday? That's actually a good question, because Hughie, where is he? Hughie Brigg. He was supposed to become an elder next year, not this year. So we'll do his role for how many years he's going to live as an elder next year, which is a little scary, because what if it's really short? Poor Sophronia. I'd like him to at least stay around until he can help the girls get married and everything. That'd be good if it could happen. So that's fine. And then we're just going to do some birthday stuff, and that's where we'll wrap it up. So let me talk about birthdays really quick. We have Martin Dubois becoming a toddler, Brangwine Day Mohun becoming a child, Paul Waldrick becoming a teenager, Johanna Waldrick dying, Christina Dubois becoming an infant, Peter Hobart II becoming an infant, and Gamesiola Hobart dying. So those are the birthday situations going on. So that is what is the birthdays, and we'll get some babies aged up and do all that stuff. But next time we will probably be having a wedding, so that'll be good. I don't know what else we have for birthdays next year. We have Genevieve and Gwendolyn and Magdalena, so those are some Sims that we know, but no Sims in our main household. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this. I have a plan really set out for up until we go to America. I'm really coming up with a lot of stuff, and it's going to involve, Marie's household and our household and everything, and we're definitely going to ramp up for this going to America process, which I'm really excited about. Like I said, I've already made them a settlement, and I downloaded a bunch of CC. I'm ready. I'm so ready. So let's do it, and I'll catch you in the next one.